Hello guys, FGF here. Today, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 turns 10 years old. Yep, the 4th game now. And you know what time it is. It is time to talk about every FNAF or fan game that has the letter 4 on it. Letter, it's a number. Ready to do this one more time this year? For a year? Because this might be the last time for a bit we do this type of video. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about the actual FNAF 4. Because this was made for one reason. In the last game, FNAF 3, no one liked Springtrap's jump scare. So Scott Cawthon wanted to make a FNAF game that was more scary than any of the games combined. That gave us FNAF 4. And it pretty much is that. It is that. It is downright scary. Though the real description of what it is, it's a nightmare version of FNAF 1 with, of course, the original 4, mainly the 4 after you. That's it. You know, you got Bonnie in the doorway, and you like before, you have to close the door on him. But instead of using the lights, you actually have to listen for breathing. I mean, you still have a flashlight, you know, to look at the doorways and the closet. But instead of this one, you have to listen for breathing for both Bonnie and Chica. And if you don't, they will surprise you, because for some reason, if they're too close and you turn the flashlight on them, they attack you. Foxy's also in the hallways as well, and he wants to sneak to your closet, which pretty much is his pirate cove, and you have to pretty much push Foxy away with the closet door, and throughout the whole night if he gets in. So it's pretty bad if he gets in the closet. And Freddy is behind your bed and will summon his children, little Freddles, to come after you. That's pretty much the whole game for the 5 nights. Well, actually, it's 4. But between these is mini games that introduce us to the crying child and the bully figure, which we now know is Dave Afton and Michael Afton. You also have this mini game where you pretty much have to put this plus trap, this new character. Well, not new; it's a plus version of Springtrap, and you have to use the flashlight to stall him. And you pretty much stall him until he gets the X. And once he gets the X, you pretty much lose 2 hours in the night, which is very useful because it makes the lights a lot shorter, which you probably would want. But in night 5, there's a plot twist where you get introduced to the first boss in a FNAF game, which is Nightmare Fredbear. And he's pretty much a mixture of all of the animatronics combined. Well, at least mechanic-wise, he pretty much has all of them. Where you pretty much have to listen for, well, well, he works differently. I mean, you have to listen for his movement, go to the door that he's in, well, close to, and close it. You could flash just in case, but flash isn't really recommended because it still leads you to death. And as for the closet bed, you hear him laugh, and you have to check if he's there or not. But sometimes he'll fake laugh, so you really gotta pay attention to which laugh is fake or not. You wanna know how you can tell? If he laughs while walking, it means he's not in the closet or bed. But, you also but this also leads to the Bite of 87, you know, well, Bite of 83, actually, minigame, you know, the iconic one. Then you get Night 6, which is pretty much everyone there, but including Nightmare Fredbear in the last 2 hours of the night. You get it's probably one of the most saddest endings, in my opinion, where you see Cried Child seeing his plushies fade away. He also fades away as well. Then you get Night 7, or Nightmare Mode as they call it, where literally it's pretty much Night 6, but Nightmare Fredbear is replaced with Nightmare, or Nightmare Shadow Freddy if you want to call him, who is pretty much a more aggressive version of Nightmare Fredbear. And then you got Night 8, or 420 mode, and this is where we actually got the introduction to an 8th night. And the only one, because we never get an 8th night again, sadly. But it was really cool how this game had the most nights. But that wasn't it of it. It had a Halloween update with it. A full-on, big, jam-packed Halloween update with new challenges. 4 them being... Let me think what were the 4 challenges. Blind Mode, Insta Foxy, Mad Freddy, and All Nightmare Mode. And you can pretty much tell what each of them are just from the description. Well, maybe... No, you can tell what All Nightmare Mode is, right? Pretty much a whole night facing off against Nightmare. Not only that, some of the characters are actually replaced with Halloween characters. You got Jacko Bonnie, Jacko Chica. But Foxy, Plushtrap, and Nightmare are changed to Mango, Balloon Boy, and the Puppet in nightmarish forms. Yes, and mini games are covered in Halloween decorations. So yeah, that overall, FNAF 4 had a lot going for it, and I'm glad that Scott did not stop after FNAF 3, though he probably was going to stop after FNAF 4 because this was originally called FNAF 4 The Final Chapter. Of course, that didn't end up coming true because I'm pretty sure the one thing people complain about was the box, which I forgot to mention about. But yeah, there's a box, which probably led to Scott want to make more games, but we're not going to worry about that. But now, we're going to worry about how there's fan games that have the number 4 on them. Yay, who doesn't love talking about that? So, let's see, what do we have to talk about first? We're starting out with the Return to Freddy's 4, which actually came out before FNAF 4, surprisingly. This game, now, there's a lot of positives to it, in my opinion. First of all, it probably has one of the best menu themes out of many of the FNAF fan games. I mean, there's just something about Welcome to Chaos. Also, the character selection is honestly very cool, though the names of these characters, the variants of them, are kind of odd. See, unlike the others, there's actually they actually have apparently some name of them. They're called the Nightmare Few animatronics, and even though they don't look like the Nightmares, I actually kind of agree and they look Nightmare Few. You might be wondering, why do I actually am scared of these animatronics? Well, it's because this game is old, and you probably don't know this, but I'm scared of old games. There's just something creepy about them. And Return to Freddy's 4 is now technically an old game because it's 10 years old as well. And the animation of these animatronics when they're running around in that hallway in front of your office, it's terrifying. There's something creepy about it. It's so unnerving. It's honestly why I'm always nervous when I have to do Return to Freddy's 4. And honestly why I haven't done Return to Freddy's 4 Anniversary Edition, because I've seen some footage of it and they have almost exactly those same movements. And plus, the one thing that I don't like of this game is Coley, the koala. He is honestly the hardest one of them all to deal with because most of them usually have them spawning in the office and you have to hide in his locker, which is like a mask. But Coley just gives you no time. If he leaves that office, you're instantly dead. Which, honestly, I don't know. Maybe they fixed that in the Anniversary Edition. I just don't know. And yeah, pretty much. Though there were some cool things about. I mean, this also had like 8 nights, I think. Though night 7 was called Dragon Dave Mode or something. I don't know what that is. Actually, let's talk about all the characters in this. We had Lockjaw, of course, Kitty Fast Cat, and then you have Freddy and Bonnie. And that's it of the original gang. I mean, there's also Golden Freddy, but as for the OG4, only Freddy and Bonnie appear in this game for some reason. Don't know why, but only they do. You have Kitty Fast Cat. You have Coley a koala, Sally a panda, even though she does not look like a panda, and Golden Lockjaw, who kills you at the end for some reason, which also leads to another song called Welcome to Machine. I don't know why, but yeah, I always found Return to Freddy's 4 very scary. And it also had a red theme, which probably made it scarier. Now let's talk about a cancel game, Five Nights at Thomas's 4. We can't really say that much about it, but what I've seen, it was pretty much going to be a how do you say this? A Unreal Engine free roam finale type game, because that's what it was. Though for some reason, it seemed it was going to involve Shrek because the freaking menu of the game was a slowed down version of. Oh no, it wasn't that. I was thinking it was a slowed down version of the Shrek song, but no, it was the Final Countdown, which makes sense. But other than that, that pretty much all I could say. It was an Unreal Engine game, but sadly got canceled. Would have been cool to see. Now let's talk about Five Nights at Sonic's 4. Yeah, this game also scares me a lot. There's something scary about Sonic's 4. I don't know why, but I sometimes find it scarier than the actual Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Why? I don't know. There's just something about the hallways that just unnerve me. And Tails. I don't know why. There's just something unnerving about. The thing is because of the depth and the shadows. Like, it's very dark, and it honestly feels more like a. You know what? Let me restart. Let me just start with the gameplay. We're pretty much back in the Five Nights at Sonic's 1 location, but it's in the style of FNAF 4. So it's pretty much continuing the thing that FNAF 4 was trying to do and being a nightmarish version of the first game. And you have nightmarish versions of the clones. But here's the thing. They're not full-on blooded up versions of those characters. we later learned with Nightmare Salvation that could just look a bit too much. But no, they're just demon versions of the characters. That's what they are. And they can honestly be very scary in my opinion. You got Nightmare Sonic, Nightmare Mario, Nightmare Yoshi, Nightmare Tails. You even got a scary amalgamation of all the toys called the Toy Mare. And you got Nightmare Golden Sonic, who just... Dear God, where is his golden skin at? Why did it all go away so fast? But anyways, it's pretty much very simple. Instead of closing the door, you actually have to hide under a desk. Which you basically have to do with all of them, except for Tails and Toy Mare. For Mario, who goes only to the left. Yoshi's only to the right. Sonic goes in both directions, and he is very fast. In fact, you see him dash into your office if you're hiding on a desk, which for some reason I found very funny just because of the sound effects. And Golden Sonic is also very fast, but he flies because Golden Sonic loves flying for some reason. Tails is pretty much the Nightmare Freddy of the game, so you just have to, I don't know, shoo him away with the flashlight. And Toy Mare is very different because you see this monitor that shows him going to events, and if he leaves that monitor, that means he's near to your vent up in the ceiling, and you have to go up there and just close the vent like that. Very simple stuff. And that's honestly all I can say. Though this was one of the games that decided to go beyond its AI and set the characters up to 25, which was pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, Final Fantasy 4, creepy. Oh, in fact, I put in the list Fazbear Return 4. We never really talked about Fazbear Return. That's because I didn't know what it was. And I don't know why I put it in here because I don't even know that much about Fazbear Return 4. The what I'm seeing, it's pretty much just the freaking Return to Freddy's 4, but for somehow with less stuff. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. I'm not even going to say that much. I'm literally just looking at the Wikipedia of it because I am not prepared to talk about this. But for what I'm seeing, it's just another Return to Freddy's 4 lookalike with, for some reason, not even Freddy in the game. So I don't even know what to think about it, honestly. I think we'll just leave it at that and just move on to... Oh, here we go. We're actually talking about 2 games now because this was very complicated for me. We have Five Nights at Wario's Origins and 4. Why are we talking about both? Because they're both the 4th installment for some reason. I don't know why. But Wario's Origin. Pretty much, there's something fun about Wario's Origin. It's pretty much a free roam game. And we just have to dodge Wario. Though, actually, Wario actually takes a specific path for some reason. He can never go to the basement or the bathroom. But, of course, you can't just stay there because your safety mode will get slowly drained for some reason. So you have to stay in the office most of the time. And that's pretty much it. Though, there's actually more stuff. Luigi shows up for Night 3. Pretty much just makes you avoid the attic of all costs, but... He's just there for that. But then Night 4 is when things get sketty in the game. Very sketty. Because the lights turn off and you only have a flashlight. Which makes the game so much scary because of Waluigi, Peach, and Mario with a more creepier version of his Super Mario theme. And Night 5 just gets creepy with some random laughs playing. And some random recoming dialogue playing. I don't know. Night 5 was always sketty. There's also some fun cutscenes when you're listening to the phone call where you see Wario possessing some characters and them being sent back to the past. Well, Night 6 is very cool in the game where you have to it's back to the original game, but you're fed off with one character, Warrior Man. And then the ending cutscene just shows how they all went into the bodies and Warrior Man dies. And then you get this other epic credit scene where it's a freaking Luigi's Mansion remix that Nitroglitch made. Very, very fun. And then there's a custom night. Yeah, that's it. I'm not talking about the 2.0s because I'm going to save that for when we do the FNAF 5 history thing. Because honestly, I don't know which one's the 4th or the 5th one. We're talking about both the 1.0 versions of them. Then we'll talk about the 2.0 versions whenever we do the 5th thing in like late 2016. So, yeah, you have a long wait for that. But anyway, let's move on to Final Fantasy Warriors 4, which I also find surprisingly freaky as hell. What is with 4 being the creepiest of most of these? I don't know. But this one's creepy. You're pretty much stuck in a TV. Well, no, you're stuck watching a TV. And you just have to switch the channels. but they will get infected by a Wario inside them, and for some reason, turning off the brightness makes them go away. It seems simple, but it's actually very terrifying because there's weird noises, and Wario could just sometimes jump scare you. Well, not actually jump scare you, not jump scare you, but like surprise you in the TV. He just get close up in your face, though he actually will literally come out of the TV and scream at you if you fail. But then, of course, other people are added. You got Mario, who, for some reason, will come closer to you if you have the brightness on. So then you use a radio to calm him down. But honestly, whenever I go to the radio, I feel more terrified because I feel like Roy could just kill me any second when I'm there. But then things get more creepy with Mr. Luigi Man, who will just jump scare you. Well, not actually jump, but will just surprise you on a TV, and you have to switch it or turn the power off, or else he'll kill you. Same thing happens with Waluigi, but he's only in Pacific channels, and he does creepy stuff there. He'll give you a surprise by making this weird, scary sound effect where he'll either be leaning through something or running to a door and then stare at you. But the creepiest one when he's in some school hallway where you think you're safe, but then Waluigi will slowly dash over you and you have to turn up the power switch away. So creepy. I mean, so fast. It's creepy. And Peach is the same thing, but there's a way you can make her go away more efficiently, or where she'll take more longer to show up. For some reason, this is the one FNAF game where you actually use the tab for commands for some reason. It's weird, but you can there's an option to cut the rope, and that's what you do for him. The water will also break occasionally, and you have to fix the remote by then. It doesn't show you when the remote in the 1.0. The 2.0 he fixes that, but again, we're not talking about the 2.0. And the last enemy is a demon-like Wario, or Nightmare Wario, but I'm pretty sure the real name is Demon Wario. Well, it's pretty much just Wario, but without a head for some reason. Just his mustache, mouth, and eyes and hair is still there. No, he doesn't have hair. No, he does. Or just still, but like the face, like the face, like the head, like the head, just the head part's just gone for some reason. And for some reason, you just have used a command called Stop Demon Warrior, and that's it. That's pretty much what the 6 nights are. There's also a fun quest mode where you just do certain quests. You just listen to what Warrior's telling you, and you pretty much beat the ghost. I don't know, but we do learn this is just all a dream. So actually, no, we learned that while this is also a dream, it's also showing us this, I don't know, a preview of Gray City. At least that's what we learned in the future, but that's not what we knew back then, back in 2016. Jesus. All right, then we okay, let's see. We have Dreams Come True, the Breaking the Magic version of it, where, well, I can't really say that much, but all I know, it just had some really, really creepy versions of Mickey, Hortensia, Oswald, and the others that what have we seen? It didn't have seen. It was just, I can't really say that much. I was just saying that the characters look freaking freaky there, and also that I wish it didn't get canceled because it seemed like it was to conclude the story, even though I really did not understood the story of Breaking the Magic. I don't know if anyone could. All we knew that these games exist, and they just had some weird feeling to it. They just had some Breaking the Magic just had some aura to it, an interesting type of aura, kind of like Return to Freddy's, but it had its own. And same thing, it got canceled or something. But oh, now we're talking about my favorite one, Final Nights 4. This one, this is something. What is it? This is something that hopefully we'll play in the channel eventually, but we will, because this is just something. Pretty much, you're pretty much a paranormal investigator, and you're investigating the stuff that happened to Freddy. So you pretty much go to multiple like pizzerias. You pretty much go back to all the areas from the previous Final Nights games, and you pretty much free roam them, which leads to fun little like sections where you're pretty much freeing the souls. Actually, no, Night 2's post night or pre night had you actually freeing Freddy while you hide from Chica occasionally, and then you free her. Night 3 didn't have that much. Night 4's pre night was a weird hospital, but you first even had to survive that one before you burned the plushie. I don't know why that was that. But God, there was just something about this free round, the pre-night stings. I think that's what I call them. They were like the best part because, well, first of all, the soundtracks were just amazing. Especially that one from the hospital. That one's just something. But then you also have the main night where you're pretty much in the 70s as Henry and you pretty much survive against Fredbear and the others. So very simple. Fredbear will slowly go to the power thingy and turn it off, but you have to use the alarm to lure him to the office so that he goes back for some reason. Bonnie, however, will just come to your office and you pretty much have to stare at him, not move at all when he's coming to the office, and he'll just, I don't know, scan you or something, and then he'll just back off. I don't know, it's something like that. The puppet, I don't know what he does, but I only know you have to watch him. You have to watch him, not let him reach somewhere. Then you have a prototype Spring Bonnie who pretty much has to put gas wherever he goes or something. I don't know, maybe that makes him leave, and it's very complicated. And then Porter Freddy just likes going to the vent, but you have to wait till he's full on near like the exit of the vent so you can close it, because apparently if you close too farly, he'll just jump at you. And then the fifth night's a boss night where you have shadow characters are at the cameras and you just have to push the alarm at them. Pretty much. Yeah, that's that. Though, actually, and then you get another free roaming section after you beat night 5 where hallucinations, the gas hallucinations put Henry in the Fredbear suit, and he's stuck there for all eternity. And then the paranormal visitor goes to Casper fights and burns everything down, including all the other areas for some reason. I don't know why. But in the credits, which is probably the best credits we've seen in a FNAF game or FNAF thing in general, with a beautiful soundtrack playing, but it pretty much shows everyone burning down, including areas that weren't even in. I don't know. For some reason, everything was just burning down somehow, and I don't really know how that worked. I mean, how did the other place burn down? I'm kind of curious. Did the fire like spread to everything, or I don't know. It's complicated, but yeah, that's Final Nights 4. That's a very beautiful game, I must say. But we're close to the end. We still got a couple more games left to talk about. We have Five Nights at Smudgers 4: Engines of War. I won't say that much because it's been a while since I've seen footage of the game, but this was a very interesting one. Why? Because it was pretty much what it is, Engines of War. It was very different. I mean, it still had the FNAF, like, essence. I'm pretty sure. I remember from when you had to use, like, a gun or something. No, you were using, like, train-like mechanics during the night set. Don't expect to know that much. But in between, there were, like, I think there were, like, bosses in this. I don't know. My engine's very engine. But the cool thing about this one is that the main enemy was now the main, like, hand is like Smudger. And you see him now as a good guy-ish, trying to fix everything, I guess, and leads to a very epic boss fight. Hell, I think even Thomas is in this game as well, and he's also kind of like a boss fight. It's very cool. Very cool. I think the most disturbing thing about it, because this game is still scary, but I remember one thing was like the secret ending you can get, where it pretty much introduces you to a new villain for the 5th game, which is Walton, I think, who is Smudger's older brother for the, which will be set up for the 5th game. Which, what even happened with the 5th game? I don't know, but yeah, Smudgers 4: Engines of War. That was an interesting one, for sure. All right, now we have the Halloween edition of Five Nights at Sonic's 4, where things are pretty much very different. Sonic is now in a zombified salvage. It's salvage Sonic, but he's zombified and somehow more creepier than salvage Sonic. Hell, even more bloody or in some areas. Jesus. But he's pretty much the same, but he's slow. He's very slow now because he's a zombie. Yeah, that's the thing. He's a zombie. Yeah, Tails is the exact same, but he's beta. Mario's, I think, he's very different. He goes to both hallways, I think, as well, and you pretty much have to shine your light at him instead of I don't know, him going to Yoshi. He pretty much replaces Sonic now, and is the one who's fast or something. I don't know. There's Toads now. There's Toads, and I don't know. They played some sort of weird sequence type thing. I don't exactly remember what, but one you couldn't flash, one you could flash for a second, but then not, and then the other ones they're fine with or something like that. I don't know. Amy's in this game in a nightmare form, and she's pretty much the same, where you have to hide, but I think there was like a certain sound effect you must listen to before you hide from her. Oh, there's also some weird shadow devil-like thing in the vents. It determine what heads in the I don't know, thingy. You have to either not shine or close or hide in the desk or something. And oh, the Mimic, or a nightmare version of the Mimic, or well, it's not the Mimic. It's an octopus named the Mimic who pretty much is golden. Pretty much is actually no, he's a lot of characters. He actually itself mimics the original characters, Sonic, Mario, Yoshi, and Golden Song. He actually mimics them throughout the game, and you have to hide from it. Honestly, the Mimic honestly makes it feel like there's like 4 other characters added to the game for some reason whenever he's active. I don't know why, he just does. But yeah, this game was very fun because of the introduction of some of these characters that made the game more spicy, more origin. And plus, it was the first one to have new original OST that was based off of Sonic 4. Because, well, 4. I have nothing else to say. Actually, no. This was something I actually wanted for a very long time. A Halloween edition of the 4th game because, well, that was playing because FNAF 4 had a Halloween edition. But it's nice how this one took it in a more different spin and make it feel like its own game or something. Anyways, I gotta top up the canceled Jolly 4. Yay! Jolly 4. I got canceled. Sadly. But, I'm gonna say, from when I played, it's absolutely beautiful. And probably would have been beautiful. For example, the free roaming section was beautiful when I was entering it. I felt like I was in an airport for some reason. Don't ask why, but I just did. And the night system, the clickiness, it all felt so smooth and such, and yeah, it just felt smooth, and I don't know why. Yeah, and the AI, they were, oh god, I don't know, they were very complicated. Let me just speed run through them all. Jolly is just, it's very simple. Watch him to the cameras. If he's in your door, the front doors, close them where he's in. Tweety, he pretty much enters the elevator, and you have to pretty much try to lower it down, but she ends up just going up there anyway, so I'm guessing you just have to hide and time right your flashes on her for some reason, which I can never do. Georgie, oh yeah, Georgie's in the vents, and Maxie's also in the vents. You just have to prevent them from, you pretty much have to move them to other places or something in the vents, and just that. And Tal is just a mess. I mean, oh, he's pretty much the opposite of mostly. He pretty much combines them all, but does them in opposite ways. For example, I'm pretty sure if you cannot move the elevator if she's if Tal's in the elevator. You cannot close the door if he's in the doorways, and you cannot close the vents if he's in the vents. You just have to hide from him. Simple as that. Just without doing other stuff and things, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, and okay, let me think. Now we have the Decay versions of these. From what I can remember, Decay, George and Maxie were in the doorways, and you have to hide, I think, from them. Tweety, I forgot what Decay Tweety does, but I'm pretty sure it was medicines. You know, my outro involves her jump scare, and Jolly was also a door character, I think. But yeah, that was all we knew of Jolly 4. There probably would have been way more, like more free roaming sections, more like that, but sadly we never got that. But hey, we got something, and that's okay for me. And that is it, unless, oh, you know, Pony wants to talk about the concept I had for Find Some Moors 4. But no, you know what? I'm in Peru right now, and in Peru is where I got inspired for an idea of Find Some Moors 4, so I'm going to do it because why not? Pretty much it would take place in a jungle. I know, crazy, but yeah. Here's how it would go. There was a day mode and a night mode, kind of like FNAF 6. Anyway, in fact, the game was a combined FNAF 4 and 6. So in a day mode, you do fun jungle-like activities. Yeah, that was clearly it. Though, the game would actually slowly shift to nighttime, and usually before the daytime ends, you get like a creepy section each time. I don't know exactly. I know Night 3 was giving you like a Ballora minigame where you're pretty much walking through like a long bridge leading to the pretty much the office, and it would slowly get dark, and nightmares would start forming, something like that. And then the gameplay would be very simple. It'd be kind of like the home section from Jolly 3 Chapter 2, where you have these tasks you have to do, and you have to, you know, wait for them to load in. And while that, you have to keep an eye of 2 doorways, one with an actual door to close, and another one that doesn't. And I'm pretty sure this one, yeah. Let me think about Nightmare Moore, which you've probably seen if you play Final Fantasy 3. He's there with a cool jungle outfit because why not? He goes from both, I think, both the left and right. And if he's in the left, close the door. But he's in the right, you have to hide under the bed and we have to walk away. Redder, door. Snow, you hide. Phil, Nightmare Phil. I think for him, he was like gonna be like a flashlight mechanic or something. Like in the door, like in the ceiling or something. And Nightmare Moore, Golden Moore, who actually was gonna be like a mixture of Shadow Moore and Frost Moore, all merged into like one thingy, along with Golden Moore, of course, would probably just be like more but more aggressive or something. Oh no, he would just also do the Phil thing, and I think that's it. I didn't really have no. I think there would have been a Nightmare Golden Redder as well, and he would just have his own thing. In fact, no, I think the task thingy would also have a camera that lets you, and you just pretty much, if he about to leave, you have to use the eye to lure him back, about something like that. And then probably, I don't know, I guess Nightmare Caretaker would have been like the boss or something. Like a final boss type thing, and you would just have to, he would just be everyone, full on everyone combined, or going more but more aggressive, something like that. Yeah, that was just my idea I got from the jungle for some reason. Don't ask how the jungle maybe thought of all that, but it just did. But yeah, that is it of this video. And probably the last video just for a while, because this location came out in October 2016, so don't expect my 10-year history of Five Nights at Freddy's 5 anytime soon. Though, I'm kind of worried about that one, because I don't think there's that many 5th installment. I mean, we only talked about, let me think, how many 4th installments did we talk about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we talked about a lot, but like, is there that many for the 5th game? That's the real question. Though, I don't know. I mean, probably wanted to mixture it and do both 5th games and 6th location fan games, but like, which ones would I choose from the 6th location fan games? Because I actually don't know that much 6th location fan games. I know a couple that could be mentioned there, but yeah. But overall, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.